Hello and welcome to this video. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to use jQuery UI to create an accordion. If you're not sure what an accordion is, we can go to the jQuery UI website, so jQueryui.com. You come here and then you can come down here to widgets and you click on accordion. And this is basically what I'm going to show you how to create. And it's deceptively simple. The hardest part is just getting the HTML set up, but once you have the HTML set up, it's just a little bit of code that will actually create that and convert that code into an accordion like this. Okay, and we'll come back to this website here in a minute when we start talking about themes. But this is what I have in my code, just a typical HTML document, got my title set up, my meta tag for the character set. But this is what you need to make sure you have to have this work because you have to set up your HTML in a certain way that jQuery is expecting so it will be able to apply the accordion correctly. And the way you got to do it is you got to have an opening div. So I have this opening div with an ID of accordion group, and then I closed it down here. Okay, inside of that containing div, I have a bunch of header tags, and you got to have those because the header tags are going to be what you end up clicking on. If I go back here, these are the header tags, section 1, section 2, section 3. These are all the header tags that you click on to expand and collapse the accordion. Okay, and then the divs underneath the header tags is what contains the content of each accordion. So the div is what contains all this stuff. And right here, the div is what contains all of this. So the main thing here is you just got to make sure that you have make sure that you have a header tag, and make sure that you have divs that contain the content for each section. Once you have that, and you can have as many as you want, really. You can have as many sections as you want. It'll make the accordion a little bit bigger, but that's okay. This is just a great way to be able to contain a lot of information in a small space. So once you have that, what we need to do here is I'm going to come off here to Google, and I'm going to Google jQuery. And what that'll do is it'll bring us to this website here. It's hosted libraries, Google developers. We're going to click on that. This is Google's CDN. And that stands for Content Delivery Network of all of these different types of libraries that do a lot of amazing things. So you can see there's Dojo, and there's jQuery, and there's MooTools, and there's a bunch of different libraries here that Google hosts for us. So we want jQuery first of all. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to grab the 3.x snippet, because jQuery UI depends on jQuery being loaded first. So we have to load jQuery first into the page, and then we can use the jQuery UI library because all of the jQuery stuff has been loaded first. So you got to make sure that this is on top. That's the first thing we want to load. Okay, we'll save that, come back here, and then I'm going to click on jQuery UI, and this is going to give me the code that I need to get this to work. So I'm going to copy that, bring it over, and this needs to go underneath the jQuery stuff, the jQuery tags. Okay, so we load in the jQuery library, then it loads in the jQuery UI CSS file. So this is going to be how we get all the styling. This is basically how it decides what color it is, and when I mouse over what color it's going to be. All of those things are defined inside that CSS file. And then we have the jQuery UI JavaScript file. So this is the jQuery UI framework, or library, whatever you want to call it, being loaded as well. And this is going to handle all the functionality of the accordion. When I click on it, what happens, all of those types of things. Okay, so once I have that loaded, now all I got to do is write a little bit of jQuery to apply the accordion to this div, this accordion group div. And I'm just going to do that down here. So inside the script tag, I've got to select the accordion group. So I'm going to do this by using a jQuery selector. Okay, and I'm using the pound sign because that means an ID. Because up here I said the ID is accordion group. All right, so I come down here and I say, okay, this says basically I'm selecting something, and what I'm selecting is the ID accordion group. Okay, and then all I got to do is just attach the accordion to it. So I use this built-in method for jQuery UI called accordion. And what that does is it goes out there, it selects that div with that ID accordion group, which is, containing div here, and then it uses this accordion function or this accordion method to apply the accordion to it. And that's it. So I got it saved. We'll come over here, and then there we go. There's the accordion. And what it looked like before, if I comment this out, right, it just looked like normal HTML. Nothing too crazy there. Okay, so if I come back here and we undo this, okay, that applies the accordion to it. And that's the most simple way to get an accordion on your page. Now, there are ways you can control certain aspects of the accordion. And if you come here and I clicked on the accordion, and if you come here to the API documentation, it'll show all the different things you can control. But let's just go over a couple things here. So the way you do it is you just put some curly brackets here in between of those parentheses, and I'm going to hit enter. And now I can just start defining different options. So one of them is animate. Okay, and I'm going to say that's true. And this is actually what it does by default. So that just means when I click on it, it animates. You can see how it animates up and down. But if I didn't want that, I could put false. And what that's going to do is just make it so when I click on it, it doesn't animate, it doesn't slide up and down, it just opens really quickly. So you can turn that on or off. I'll just say true there. Now, when I add another property that I want to change or another option of the accordion I want to change, I just have to put a comma here. The other one is collapsible, and I can say this is true or false. So let's say true. Okay, and the last option will never have a comma after it, so just remember that. So when I say it's true, what it means is I can collapse these. So I can click on it, it'll open, I'll click on it, and it'll collapse. If you don't want that, you can say collapsible is going to be false. And what that does is when I click on it, and then I click on it again, it won't collapse. So if something's open, there's always going to be one thing open, and you'll never be able to close it. So there'll always be at least one thing open, if that's how you want it to function. Okay, and last thing we'll go over, and there's a bunch of different things you can play around with, but another one is event. And this just basically means what's the event that's going to fire off the accordion, what's going to make it work. So I have click, that's what it is by default. So every time I click, the accordion works, right? But if I didn't want that, if I wanted maybe mouse over, I could do that as well. And so now when I come over here and I mouse over it, the accordion fires off. Where before I had to click. So I just mouse over these, I'm not clicking anymore, and they fire off. And the last thing I want to show really is how to change the theme, how to make it look a little bit different. So if I come over here to jQuery UI and I come over here to themes, this gives us what's called the theme roller. And this allows us to make our own themes if we want, but here we're just going to go to gallery. And these are all the kind of the pre-built themes that exist inside of jQuery UI. Some of these will work, some of them won't. It just depends what Google has. So let's say I wanted the Redmond. All I'd have to do is come in here, and right here you can see that this is where they define which theme is going to be used. This is how the Google CDN works. So there's themes right here, the themes folder, and then it uses the theme called smoothness. So I can come over here and say, well, I'm going to use Redmond instead. So I'm going to go back to my code and I can change smoothness to Redmond. And if Google is hosting that, which I know they host this one, then it'll change it up. So now it's blue. It used to be kind of that gray color. Now it's blue. So really you can kind of take a look at these themes and then go in there and just change it to see if it'll work. Like I haven't tried Sunny, but we can try it, see if Sunny exists. Okay, put Sunny in there, come over here. Yep, and Sunny exists on the Google CDN, so it applied that theme. So anyways, that's jQuery UI accordions, pretty easy to use. Accordions are great, just an awesome way to have a lot of information in a small area on a screen. And if you guys want to learn more, definitely check out our website here at skillforge.com, and you can go over here to the courses, and we have a bunch of different things you can check a look at. The web design courses are right here, website design training. We offer a lot of different things. So if interested, take a look. Anyways, hope that was helpful, guys, and have a good day. We'll see you.